A straight girl slept with her roommate and discovered the truth. The rain hammered against the fire escape like 1,000 tiny accusations, each drop a reminder that Emily Harper had nowhere left to run. She slammed the door to their cramped Brooklyn walk-up, her soaked trench coat dripping onto the scuffed hardwood, the metallic tang of wet pavement clinging to her skin like regret. At 25, Emily was the girl who'd always played it safe, graphic designer by day, dutiful girlfriend by night, her life sketched in neat lines and primary colors. But tonight those lines had blurred into a smear. Her boyfriend Jake had exploded over the phone, his voice cracking like thunder. "You're always pulling away, Em. What's with you and that roommate of yours? Alex this, Alex that. It's like I'm the third wheel in my own relationship." She exhaled sharply, the sound ragged in the dim hallway, her chest tight as if the city's humidity had seeped into her lungs. The apartment smelled of fresh ground coffee and Alex's lavender candle, a scent that usually grounded her but now twisted like a knot in her gut. Alex. God, Alex. Her roommate of 2 years, the one who'd turned their shoebox space into a haven with thrifted art on the walls and playlists that shifted from indie folk to sultry R&B without warning. Alex Rivera, 24, with her easy laugh and those dark eyes that saw too much, working double shifts at the corner cafe to fund her photography dreams. They'd met through a Craigslist ad. Emily fleeing a bad breakup, Alex fresh off a cross-country move from Seattle, both too broke for solitude. Emily peeled off her coat, letting it slump to the floor in a defeated puddle. The living room was empty, but light spilled from under Alex's bedroom door, a sliver of warmth cutting through the shadows. She hesitated, fingers hovering over the knob, her pulse thudding in her ears like the bass from the bar downstairs. Why did her stomach flip like this? It was just Alex, her best friend, the one who'd held her through hangovers and heartaches, who'd tease her about her hetero checklist, while passing her a mug of chamomile at midnight. A soft creak from within. Alex shifting on her bed, maybe scrolling through her phone, the faint glow illuminating her silhouette against the frosted glass. Emily's throat tightened. She should not spill it all. Jake's paranoia, the fight that had left her raw, the way she'd almost said yes when he proposed last month but choked on the words. Instead, she pushed the door open, uninvited, the hinges whispering like a secret. Alex looked up from her nest of blankets, surprise flickering across her face before softening into that familiar concern. She was in her usual armor, oversized flannel unbuttoned over a tank top, hair tousled from an attempt at sleep, a half-read novel splayed on her lap. "Eh? Jesus, you're drenched. What happened?" Her voice was low, laced with that Pacific Northwest lilt, vowels stretching like taffy. Emily collapsed onto the edge of the bed, the mattress dipping under her weight, springs groaning in protest. "Jake," she muttered, burying her face in her hands, the cool dampness of her hair sticking to her palms. He thinks I'm in love with you." The room went still, save for the relentless patter outside. Alex's breath hitched, a small, almost inaudible intake that Emily felt more than heard, like the pull of a tide. When she finally looked up, Alex's eyes were wide, unblinking, the air between them thickening with something unspoken electric. "Are you?" Alex asked, her tone steady but her fingers twisting the blanket's fringe, knuckles whitening. Emily laughed, a brittle sound that cracked midway, echoing off the peeling wallpaper. "What? No. That's insane. You're Alex. My roommate. My friend." But even as the words tumbled out, they felt hollow, rehearsed. Her gaze snagged on the curve of Alex's collarbone, the way the lamp's amber light pooled there, warm and inviting. She swallowed hard, tasting salt from unshed tears. "I don't know anymore. Everything's messy." Alex shifted closer, the bed whispering under her movement, her knee brushing Emily's thigh. An accidental spark that sent heat racing up Emily's spine. "Hey," Alex murmured, her hand lifting as if to touch Emily's shoulder but hovering, waiting for permission. "Messy is okay. You're allowed to be a mess, Em. You've been holding it together for everyone else too long." The touch came then, light as a feather. Alex's palm settling on Emily's back, rubbing slow circles through her damp shirt. Emily leaned into it without thinking, her body betraying her with a shuddering sigh. The room smelled of Alex now, lavender and faint vanilla from her skin, mixed with the earthy bite of rain-soaked earth seeping through the cracked window. Emily's heart hammered, a frantic drumbeat drowning out the storm. Why did this feel safer than Jake's arms ever had? Why did Alex's presence uncoil the knot in her chest, thread by thread? They talked, or rather Emily vented, words spilling like the downpour outside. Jake's jealousy, the way he'd accused her of lingering hugs with Alex at parties, the pressure of their 5-year routine that had started to feel like a cage. Alex listened, nodding, her dark eyes never leaving Emily's face, absorbing every fractured syllable. Hours blurred, the rain easing to a drizzle, the city lights smearing into halos beyond the glass. A bottle of cheap Merlot appeared from Alex's nightstand, passed back and forth, the tart warmth loosening tongues and limbs. By midnight, Emily was curled against Alex's side, head on her shoulder, the flannel soft against her cheek. "You're the only one who gets me," she whispered, voice thick with wine and weariness. Alex's arm draped around her, tentative at first, then firm, her fingers tracing idle patterns on Emily's arm, feather-light, sending goosebumps rippling across her skin. "Always will," Alex replied, her breath warm against Emily's temple. There was a pause, heavy with the weight of what neither dared name. Emily tilted her head up, their faces inches apart, breaths mingling in the charged space. Alex's eyes searched hers, a storm of longing and restraint swirling there, her lips parting on a silent exhale. It happened in a heartbeat, or maybe the world slowed, the rain holding its breath. Emily closed the gap, her mouth brushing Alex's in a tentative press, soft and questioning. Alex froze, then melted, her hand cupping Emily's jaw with a tenderness that bordered on reverence. The kiss deepened, tentative exploration giving way to hunger, tongues tentative at first, then bold, the taste of wine and salt and something sweeter, forbidden. Emily's hands fisted in Alex's shirt, pulling her closer, the world narrowing to the heat of skin under fabric, the soft hitch of Alex's gasp against her lips. They broke apart, foreheads pressed together, breaths ragged in the quiet. Emily's mind reeled, a whirlwind of denial and desire crashing like waves. I'm straight," she stammered, but the words dissolved into another kiss, fiercer this time, Alex's fingers threading through her hair, tugging just enough to elicit a moan that echoed in Emily's bones. The night unraveled them, clothes shed in hurried whispers, hands mapping unfamiliar territories with reverent awe. Alex's skin was silk under Emily's palms, warm and yielding, her sighs a symphony that drowned out the city's hum. They moved together in the tangle of sheets, bodies finding rhythms neither had scripted, Emily's straight-laced world fracturing with every arch and gasp. Dawn crept in, gray light painting their entwined forms, but sleep claimed them first, limbs heavy, hearts exposed. Emily woke to sunlight slicing through the blinds, her body aching in ways both foreign and exquisite. Alex stirred beside her, lashes fluttering, a sleepy smile curving her lips before reality crashed back. Emily bolted upright, sheets pooling at her waist, horror clawing up her throat. What had she done? She was straight. Jake. Her life. Panic clawed at her chest, breaths coming in shallow bursts. Alex reached for her, eyes soft with unspoken pleas, but Emily flinched, scrambling for her discarded shirt. "I can't, this was a mistake," she choked out, voice breaking like glass underfoot. Alex's face crumpled, a flash of pain so raw it pierced Emily's heart. Wait." But Emily was already fleeing, bare feet slapping cold floor, the door slamming behind her like a verdict. In the bathroom mirror her reflection stared back. Flushed cheeks, swollen lips, eyes wild with the truth she couldn't face. The night hadn't been a mistake. It had been revelation, and it terrified her. Emily spent the day in a fog, her desk at the design firm a battlefield of half-finished layouts and cooling coffee gone bitter on her tongue. The office buzzed around her, colleagues chattering about weekend plans, the clack of keyboards like distant gunfire, but she was adrift, her mind replaying fragments of the night in visceral flashes. The velvet slide of Alex's thigh against hers, the way Alex's whisper had unraveled her like a pulled thread. "You're beautiful, let go." She shifted in her chair, thighs pressing together involuntarily, a flush creeping up her neck. Straight girls didn't ache like this, didn't replay the curve of another's breast under their palm, the salty tang of skin on their tongue. By noon her phone lit up with Jake's texts. Apologies laced with barbs. Babe, I overreacted. Dinner tonight? Make it right. Guilt twisted in her gut, sharp as the splintered edge of their breakfast bar at home. She typed back a vague maybe, then deleted it, thumb hovering over Alex's name instead. No messages there. Just silence, heavier than the humid air pressing against the windows. What was Alex thinking? Did she regret it? Or worse, had she known all along, seen the cracks in Emily's facade when Emily hadn't even glimpsed them herself? The subway ride home was torture, the rattle of the F train mirroring the tremor in her hands. Bodies pressed close in the crush, strangers' elbows grazing her ribs, and all she could think was how none of it felt like Alex's touch, intentional, electric. She emerged into the twilight streets of Williamsburg, the air thick with the sizzle of street vendors' falafel, and the low thrum of indie rock spilling from lofts. Their building loomed, brick facade scarred by years of graffiti ghosts, and Emily's steps faltered at the stoop. What if Alex was there, waiting with that quiet intensity, eyes demanding answers Emily didn't have? The apartment was dim when she entered, the scent of takeout lo mein hanging stale in the air. Alex's door was ajar, a sliver of lamplight beckoning like a siren's call. Emily's heart stuttered, a mix of dread and pull she couldn't name. She knocked softly, the wood cool under her knuckles. Alex? You home? Come in. The voice was even, but laced with an undercurrent of steel. Emily pushed inside, the room a cocoon of familiarity. Posters of Ansel Adams prints curling at the edges, Alex's camera bag slung over the chair, a fresh pot of coffee steaming on the dresser. Alex sat cross-legged on the bed, laptop balanced on her knees, editing photos, moody black and whites of cityscapes that captured the grit and grace of New York. She didn't look up right away, fingers pausing on the trackpad, the click frozen midair. Emily hovered in the doorway, arms wrapped around herself like armor. About last night. I freaked. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. Alex finished, her tone light but eyes finally lifting, dark pools reflecting the screen's glow. There was no anger there, just a weary sadness that carved deeper than fury. She closed the laptop with a soft snap, setting it aside. Yeah, you said. Emily winced, stepping closer, the carpet muffling her socks. I didn't mean it like that. I've never. With a girl. With anyone but Jake, really. It was intense. Too much. Her voice cracked and she sank onto the bed's edge, close enough to feel the heat radiating from Alex's body, a magnetic field pulling at her edges. Alex exhaled slowly, a sound like wind through pines, leaning back against the headboard. Her flannel was rumpled, sleeves rolled to her elbows, revealing the faint tattoo of a compass rose on her forearm. A nod to her wandering roots. Listen. Whatever happened, or didn't, doesn't have to define you. But don't gaslight yourself. You felt it too. That wasn't just wine and rain. Emily's cheeks burned, memories flooding back. The way Alex's nails had grazed her spine, drawing shivers that pooled low in her belly. The soft press of lips to her inner thigh, breath hot and reverent. She met Alex's gaze, unflinching now, and saw her own confusion mirrored there, tempered by something fiercer, certainty. How do you know? How do you just know you're? She trailed off, the word gay hanging unspoken, too loaded for the room's fragile peace. Alex's lips quirked, a ghost of her usual smirk. I didn't. Not at first. Grew up in a conservative pocket of Seattle, church every Sunday, dad preaching fire and brimstone. Dated boys in high school because that's what you do. Then college hit and I met this girl in my darkroom class. One shared cigarette on the fire escape, one fumbling kiss in the supply closet, and bam, truth serum. She shrugged, but her eyes softened, tracing Emily's face like she was committing it to film. It's not a switch, Em. It's a lens. Once you focus, everything sharpens. Emily swallowed, the lump in her throat tasting of unshed confession. Jake wants to fix us. Dinner tomorrow. What do I say? The question hung vulnerable, her fingers twisting the hem of her blouse, the fabric damp from nervous palms. Alex's jaw tightened, a flicker of pain crossing her features before she masked it with a nod. Tell him the truth. Or as much as you can stomach. She reached out then, hesitant, her hand covering Emily's, thumb stroking the back in slow, soothing arcs. The touch ignited sparks, familiar now, craving. Emily didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned in, their shoulders brushing, the air humming with possibility. They ordered pizza that night. Greasy slices piled high with pepperoni and mushrooms, eaten straight from the box on the living room floor. Backs against the couch, legs tangled in lazy abandon. The TV flickered with some Netflix thriller, but neither watched, conversation weaving through safe topics. Alex's latest photo gig at a queer poetry slam. Emily's nightmare client demanding Comic Sans revisions. Laughter bubbled up, tentative at first, then free, the sound chasing shadows from the corners. As the credits rolled, Emily turned, her knee nudging Alex's. "Stay," she whispered, the words slipping out unbidden, raw with need. Alex's eyes searched hers, a beat of silence stretching taut. Then with a nod she stood, offering her hand. In Emily's bedroom this time, the space felt different, charged, like the air before a storm breaks. They undressed slowly, no rush, no wine to blame. Moonlight slanted through the blinds, striping Alex's skin in silver, her body a landscape Emily explored with wide-eyed wonder. The dip of her waist, the constellation of freckles across her ribs, the way her breath caught when Emily's lips found the pulse at her throat. Alex gasped, fingers tangling in auburn strands, guiding, encouraging. They moved as one body, sinking in a dance of gasps and murmurs, the creak of the bed frame a counterpoint to their rhythm. Emily lost herself in the sensations, the slick heat, the arch of Alex's back under her hands, the crescendo of release that left them trembling, entwined. After, in the hush, Emily traced patterns on Alex's arm. The compass rose a map to uncharted parts of herself. "What if I can't go back?" she murmured, voice small against the pillow. Alex pressed a kiss to her forehead, lingering. "Then don't. The truth isn't a dead end. It's a beginning." But dawn brought Jake's call, his voice eager through the speaker. "Tonight, 7? That Italian place you love." Emily's stomach plummeted, reality's cold fingers prying at the warmth. She agreed, voice steady, but as she hung up, doubt coiled like smoke. Dinner with Jake felt like stepping into a role she'd outgrown. The script worn thin. The day dragged, Emily's sketches bleeding into abstractions, curves and angles that echoed Alex's form. By evening she stood before the mirror, slipping into a sundress that hugged her hips, the fabric whispering against her skin like Alex's breath. Guilt warred with anticipation, a toxic brew. Alex was at work, her shift ending late, but she'd left a note on the fridge. "Knock him dead. Or don't. Your call." A scribbled beside it, a doodle of two stick figures holding hands under a rainbow, simple and searing. The restaurant was candlelit intimacy, Chianti breathing in decanters, the murmur of couples of velvet backdrop. Jake arrived flustered, tie askew, his cologne sharp and familiar, cinnamon and pine, a scent that once comforted but now cloyed. He kissed her cheek, lingering too long, his hand on her waist possessive. "Missed you," he said, eyes scanning her face for cracks. Over pasta Alfredo, steam curling like secrets, he launched in. Apologies tumbling out, promises of more date nights, less workaholic hours. Emily nodded, twirling noodles on her fork, the garlic butter rich on her tongue but tasting of ash. His hand covered hers across the table, thumb stroking her knuckles, a gesture that echoed Alex's but felt rote, mechanical. "I love you, Em. Marry me? For real this time." The ring box appeared, velvet black against the white tablecloth, diamond winking like a lie. Emily's breath snagged, the room tilting. Flashes assaulted her. Alex's laugh in the kitchen, her body warm and yielding, the way she'd whispered Emily's name like a prayer. "Jake, I." Her voice faltered, tears pricking hot. "I can't." His face drained of color, fork clattering to the plate. "Because of her? Alex." The name spat like venom, drawing stares from nearby tables. "It's not, it's me." Emily choked, pulling her hand free, the cool air a shock. I think I'm not who I thought. The confession hung, freeing and fracturing, the weight lifting even as her world splintered. Jake recoiled, chair scraping back, his eyes hardening into betrayal. You're throwing us away for a phase? Some college experiment. He stood, tossing cash on the table, storming out into the night. Emily sat frozen, the server's sympathetic glance a sting, tears spilling silent tracks down her cheeks. She walked home in a daze, the city's pulse syncing with her own. Horns blaring, laughter spilling from bars, the distant wail of sirens. Their building's light glowed in the window, a beacon. Alex was home early, silhouetted against the curtains, camera in hand, capturing the skyline. Emily burst through the door, dress rumpled, mascara streaked. Alex turned, alarm flashing. Eh? What? Emily crossed the room in 3 strides, crashing into her, lips finding Alex's in a desperate clash. I said no, she gasped between kisses, hands fisting in flannel. To him. To all of it. I want this. Us. Alex's arms enveloped her, fierce and sure, the camera clattering to the floor, forgotten. They sank to the rug, bodies urgent, reclaiming what the night had stolen. But as ecstasy faded to afterglow, Emily's phone buzzed, Jake's final text. Don't come crawling back. And tell your dyke roommate to watch her back. The threat lingered, a shadow on their fragile dawn. Weeks blurred into a tentative rhythm, Emily and Alex orbiting each other like stars in a private galaxy. Mornings started with coffee brewed strong, black for Alex, laced with almond milk for Emily, shared over the Formica counter amid sleepy kisses and the sizzle of eggs in the pan. The apartment transformed, no longer a stopover but a sanctuary, walls echoing with their laughter, bedsheets perpetually tangled. Emily's designs bloomed bolder, colors bleeding vibrant across her screen, inspired by the arch of Alex's back in morning light, the way her fingers danced over shutter buttons. But Jake's shadow loomed, a specter in voicemails deleted unheard, mutual friends' sidelong glances at brunches. Heard you two are close now. One whispered over mimosas, tone laced with judgment that curdled the orange juice in Emily's stomach. She brushed it off, chin lifted but doubt gnawed. Was this real or just rebound rebellion? Alex sensed it, her touches turning reassuring. A hand on the small of Emily's back during bodega runs, a whispered "you're mine" against her ear in crowded subway cars. One crisp October evening, as leaves skittered like confetti along Bedford Avenue, Alex pitched the idea over falafel wraps from the halal cart. My exhibit's Friday. Come. Meet my world. Her eyes sparkled, vulnerability peeking through the bravado, fingers sticky with tahini as she wiped them on her jeans. Emily hesitated, fork pausing midair, the chickpeas warm and earthy on her tongue. Your queer scene. I don't want to invade. But the pull was magnetic, curiosity laced with fear. Like stepping onto a ledge, wind whipping at your edges. Alex leaned across the rickety cafe table, capturing Emily's hand, thumb circling her wrist's pulse. You're not invading. You're invited. Part of it. The kiss that followed was salt-kissed, public and unapologetic, drawing a wolf whistle from a passing cyclist. Emily flushed but didn't pull away, the thrill buzzing like neon in her veins. Friday arrived in a whirl of preparation. Emily in a thrift store button-down, sleeves rolled, hair loose and wild. Alex in her signature leather jacket, camera slung like a talisman. The gallery was a converted warehouse in Bushwick, exposed brick dripping with string lights, air humming with bass-heavy electronica and the murmur of voices. Artists in ripped fishnets, poets with tattoos snaking up necks, couples entwined regardless of gender. Pride flags draped from rafters, a rainbow mosaic underfoot. Alex's photos commanded a corner wall. Intimate portraits of queer joy and grit, drag queens mid-laugh, trans elders holding hands at Coney Island, stolen kisses in alleyways. Emily wandered, glass of cheap Chardonnay sweating in her palm, the tang sharp against her lips. One image stopped her cold. A candid of herself, asleep on their couch last winter, vulnerability etched in the curve of her jaw, blanket slipping to reveal collarbone. Stolen, Alex murmured from behind, breath ghosting Emily's neck. Couldn't help it. You looked like home. Emotion swelled, hot and unbidden. Emily turning into Alex's arms amid the crowd. It's beautiful. You see me, the real me. Their kiss deepened, unhurried, the world fading to the press of bodies, the faint scent of patchouli and spray paint. But harmony shattered with a crash. Jake bursting through the doors like a storm front, face twisted in rage, eyes bloodshot from whatever fueled his fury. There you are, he snarled, shoving past a cluster of wide-eyed attendees, his button-down untucked, reeking of stale beer. Mutual friends had tipped him off, whispers turning to warnings ignored. Emily froze, wine sloshing over her fingers, cold trickled down her wrist. Alex stepped forward, body shielding, voice low thunder. Not here, man. Leave. Jake's laugh was ugly, bark echoing off the rafters. Oh, I'm leaving. After I tell your little girlfriend what a cliché this is. Straight girl goes gay for the hot roommate? Seen it on every shitty indie flick. He advanced, finger jabbing at Emily, who flinched, heart slamming against ribs. You think this is love? It's confusion. You'll wake up crying for a real man. The room hushed, a ripple of tension spreading. Phone slipping out, murmurs turning to gasps. Alex's fists clenched, knuckles white, but Emily surged forward, fire igniting in her chest. Get out, Jake. We're done. Have been since that night. Her voice carried, steady despite the tremor in her knees, the metallic taste of adrenaline on her tongue. He lunged then, not at her but Alex, shoving her against the wall, photos rattling in their frames. Fucking homewrecker. Glass shattered, a frame cracking, shards glittering like fallen stars. Alex stumbled, shoulder slamming brick, but recovered with a swing. Fists connecting with Jake's jaw in a sickening crack, the sound reverberating like a gunshot. Security swarmed, burly arms hauling Jake away as he spat curses. You'll regret this, both of you freaks. The doors slammed, leaving a wake of stunned silence, then applause. Claps turning to cheers, strangers enveloping them in hugs, affirmations washing over like balm. You okay? That was badass. Proud of you. In the aftermath, amid cleanup and concerned clusters, Emily pulled Alex into a shadowed alcove, hands framing her face, thumbs brushing a trickle of blood from her split lip. You didn't have to. But Alex silenced her with a kiss fierce and claiming, tasting of copper and courage. Worth it, Alex breathed, forehead to Emily's, breath sinking in the dim. For you? Always. The night salvaged itself. Dancing to pulsing tracks, bodies pressed in the throng, sweat slick and alive. Emily let go, hips swaying to the beat, Alex's hands on her waist guiding, grounding. But as they stumbled home, arms linked against the chill, Emily's mind churned. Jake's words burrowing like thorns. Was it a phase? Or had she finally focused the lens? Sleep evaded her that night, tangled in sheets that smelled of Alex's shampoo, citrus and clean. She slipped from bed, padding to the living room, where Alex's camera lay abandoned. Rifling through the memory card on her laptop, images flooded the screen. Their life in frames. Emily laughing mid-bite of bagel, Alex's profile sharp against Central Park fog, stolen selfies with cheeks pressed close. One from last week, them on the rooftop, city sprawl below, Emily's head on Alex's shoulder, eyes closed in rare peace. The caption, truth in focus. Tears blurred the pixels, Emily's sob muffled into a pillow. This wasn't confusion. It was clarity, sharp as a shutter click. But dawn brought repercussions. Jake's smear campaign via group chats, twisting their story into scandal. Emily's midlife crisis with the barista dyke. Friends divided, invitations dried up. The city's whisper network turning their love into gossip fodder. Emily confronted it head-on at work Monday, cornering her boss in the break room, coffee machine gurgling like a confidant. Rumors flying. Just so you know, it's true. I'm with Alex now. The words freed something, her shoulders squaring as her boss nodded, unfazed. Good for you. Life's too short for bullshit. Emboldened, she texted Jake one final time. Block me. Move on. We're strangers now. The send button felt like cutting a tether, weightless relief flooding in. That evening, Alex arrived with takeout sushi and a proposition, unrolling blueprints on the coffee table, sketches of a shared darkroom in their dream loft someday. Future-proofing, she said, chopsticks dangling from her lips, eyes alight. Emily kissed her then, slow and deep, bodies igniting on the rug, the rustle of wrappers forgotten. They explored with deliberation, Emily's tongue tracing the bruise blooming on Alex's shoulder, eliciting a hiss of pleasure-pain. Alex's fingers delving, curling just so, drawing cries that echoed off walls. Climax crashed like waves, leaving them spent, limbs heavy. "I love you," Emily whispered into the curve of Alex's neck. The words solid, unshakable. Alex's response was a squeeze, fierce and wordless, but her eyes said everything. Echoed, amplified. Yet as winter nipped at the windows, new storms brewed. Alex's ex, Mia, a fiery sculptor from her Seattle days, surfaced via email. "Heard you're playing house. Miss you. Visit." Jealousy flared in Emily, irrational and hot, visions of lithe limbs and shared histories taunting her sleep. "Am I enough?" she asked one night, voice small over microwave popcorn, kernels popping like doubts. Alex pulled her close, popcorn scattering. "More than. You're the shot I couldn't frame before." But the seed planted, Emily's insecurities sprouting. Late nights scrolling old photos, wondering if she'd stolen Alex from a fuller story. Climax built subtly. A gallery after-party where Mia appeared uninvited, all sharp cheekbones and knowing smirks. "Still chasing straights, Alex?" she purred, hand lingering on Alex's arm. Emily watched from across the room, wine souring, heart pounding a war drum. When Alex extricated politely, joining her with apologies, Emily's facade cracked. "Tell me I'm not a rebound." "You're not," Alex insisted, but the hurt in her eyes spoke of Emily's deeper fear. Not of Mia, but of her own unhealed wounds. Spring unfurled in reluctant bursts. Cherry blossoms dusting sidewalks like fleeting promises, the air warming with the promise of renewal. Emily and Alex dove deeper, their bond a tapestry woven from mundane miracles. Weekend hikes in Prospect Park, Alex's lens capturing Emily mid-stride, wind-tousled and free. Lazy Sundays with vinyl spinning Nina Simone, bodies swaying slow in the kitchen, flour dusted from failed pancake attempts. Emily's coming out rippled outward, text to family, her mom's voice cracking over the line from Ohio. "As long as you're happy, honey," laced with unspoken questions, her dad's gruff "love's love," a bomb she'd cling to. But fractures spiderwebbed beneath the surface. Jake's harassment escalated. Anonymous posts on local design forums. "Beware the backstabber who'll ditch you for her roommate," complete with blurred photos from their exhibit night. Clients whispered. Gigs dried to a trickle. Emily's inbox a minefield of passive-aggressive inquiries. "Creative differences?" One read, the subtext a knife twist. She powered through, sketches fiercer, but nights brought insomnia. Body curled away from Alex's warmth, mind racing with what-ifs. Alex noticed, of course, her radar attuned to Emily's silences, the way her laughs rang hollow over dinner. One humid June evening after a shift that left Alex smelling of espresso and exhaustion, she cornered Emily in the bathroom, steam from the shower curling like smoke signals. "Talk to me," she urged, towel knotted at her chest, droplets tracing rivulets down her collarbone. Emily, fresh from the spray, hair dripping ink dark, met her gaze in the fogged mirror. Eyes shadowed, vulnerable. "It's stupid," Emily muttered, combing fingers through wet strands, the comb snagging like her thoughts. "Just pressure. Feeling like I'm on display. Like everyone's waiting for me to fail us." Alex stepped closer, hands on hips, the porcelain sink cool against Emily's back. "You're not failing. We're building." Her kiss was gentle, coaxing, lips parting Emily's with patient hunger. They made love there, against the wall, water forgotten. Alex's mouth hot on Emily's breasts, tongue flicking peaks to taut buds. Emily's nails raking down Alex's back, urging deeper, the slap of skin a counterpoint to their moans. Release came shuddering, Emily's cry muffled into Alex's shoulder, the echo fading to pants and clinging. After, wrapped in threadbare robes, they migrated to the fire escape. City lights twinkling below like conspirators. Alex lit a joint, passing it over, the herbal smoke acrid sweet on Emily's tongue, loosening knots. Remember my first exhibit? Thought it'd be the end, exposing my soul on walls. But it freed me. She exhaled a plume toward the stars, hand finding Emily's thigh, squeezing. You're braver than you know. Emboldened, Emily pitched her own leap. A freelance pitch to a queer lifestyle mag. Illustrations of budding romances. Soft lines capturing first glances, tentative hands. Inspired by us, she confessed, cheeks warming. Alex's grin lit the night, fierce pride. Submit it. Own it. The acceptance came 2 weeks later. Email pinging during a rare quiet afternoon. Alex napping post-shift, her snores soft from the bedroom. Emily hooped, startling her awake, tackling her back to the pillows in a flurry of kisses and congratulations. They celebrated with rooftop wine, cheap rose in plastic cups, the skyline a glittering audience. Bodies pressed close against the ledge, Emily's hand slipping under Alex's shirt, fingers teasing nipple to hardness, eliciting a gasp that blended with traffic hum below. They didn't make it inside. Love urgent on the weathered lounge chair. Alex's mouth between Emily's thighs, tongue delving with expert swirl, Emily's hips bucking, stars blurring in climax's haze. But euphoria crested into conflict when Mia reappeared, this time with intent. A surprise visit, suitcase in tow, crashing Alex's cafe shift. Emily arrived for her usual pickup, bell tinkling overhead, only to find Mia perched at the counter, all bohemian chic in flowing scarves, regaling Alex with tales of Pacific Clay Studios. We were electric, weren't we? Mia laughed, hand on Alex's wrist, the gesture proprietary. Emily's stomach nodded, coffee turning to lead. She ordered a drip, black, retreating to a corner booth, eavesdropping on fragments. Shared inside jokes, Mia's sultry missed your fire. Alex extricated gracefully, spotting Emily, but the damage festered. Dinner that night tense, Emily picking at pad thai, noodles slick and unappealing. She's just passing through, Alex assured. Foot hooking Emily's under the table, seeking connection. But Emily's smile was tight, words barbed. Passing through your bed last time? Or was that electric too? Alex recoiled, fork clattering. Jealousy's ugly on you, Em. Mia's history. You're now. The argument escalated, voices rising over the whir of the AC. Accusations flying. Emily's paranoia a projection of her own doubts. Alex's defensiveness a shield for unresolved strings. You think I'm still straight curious? Emily hurled, tears hot. Or just afraid I'll bolt like you did from her? Alex stormed out, door slamming, the echo reverberating in Emily's chest. Hours ticked by, city night alive outside while Emily paced, regret sour as bile. She texted apologies, unacknowledged, the screen a cold void. Dawn found her on the couch, blanket cocoon, when Alex returned, eyes red-rimmed, hair windswept from a walk to the bridge. I'm sorry, they chorused, colliding in a hug that dissolved to tears, bodies sinking to the floor in mutual need. Forgiveness came physical, kisses bruising, hands reclaiming territory, Alex's fingers thrusting deep, curling to that spot that made Emily arch and keen. Yours, only yours. They shattered together, aftershocks rippling, reaffirming in sweat-slicked whispers. Mia's visit stretched a week, an unwelcome guest in their dynamic. Dinners polite but charged, Mia's flirtations subtle stabs. Emily endured, channeling unease into art. A series of sketches, jagged lines of doubt resolving to intertwined forms, submitted to her mag contact. Acceptance followed with a twist. Feature spread. Interview 2, your story. The interview loomed, a confessional under lights, reporters' questions probing like scalpels. From straight to lesbian, how's the transition? Emily faltered, microphone heavy in her grip, studio air-conditioned chill raising goosebumps. It's not a switch. It's awakening. Alex showed me parts of myself I'd hidden. The words flowed then, raw and real vulnerability bared. Alex watched from the sidelines, eyes shining, pride a tangible force. Publication hit like a wave. Shares exploding on socials, messages flooding. Support from strangers. Your courage inspired my coming out. Vitriol from trolls, fake for clout. Jake's final jab arrived via DM. Told you it'd blow up. Enjoy the fame, traitor. Emily blocked him, but the exposure cracked open old wounds. Family calls tentative, friends resurfacing with awkward congrats. In the eye, Emily and Alex retreated to a cabin upstate, Alex's aunt's loner. A weathered A-frame amid pines, lake lapping at the dock. Days blurred and idle. Skinny dipping at dusk, water shockingly cold on heated skin. Alex's laughter echoing as she surfaced, pulling Emily under for submerged kisses. Bonfires crackling, marshmallows toasting, golden stories shared under star-pricked skies. Alex's first crush on a camp counselor. Emily's buried schoolgirl fascination with her lit teacher. Nights were fevered worship. Emily straddling Alex on the bearskin rug, grinding slow, breasts brushing and teasing friction. Alex flipping her, pinning wrists, mouth devouring from neck to core. Tongue relentless until Emily begged, release crashing like thunder. I see you. Alex murmured post-bliss, fingers tracing Emily's stretch marks. Map of her becoming. All of you. Return to the city brought grounding. New gig for Emily at a progressive ad agency. Alex's photos picked for a mural project. But harmony teetered when Emily's mom visited, suitcase packed with Midwestern practicality, eyes widening at their casual PDAs. Over pot roast in the kitchen, tension simmered. It's a phase, sweetie? Jake was solid. Emily's retort sharp. This is solid, Mom. Love doesn't need a label. The visit ended in hugs, tentative progress, but Emily's resolve hardened. Yet a health scare jolted them. Alex fainting at work, low iron from skipped meals, hospital fluorescence harsh on her pallor. Emily waited in the ER. Coffee styrofoam burning her palms, fear of ice. Don't leave me, she whispered when Alex woke for dripping steady. Never, Alex rasped, hand squeezing. The ordeal bonded them tighter, priorities realigning. Shared meal preps, check-ins amid chaos. Summer peaked in a pride march, rainbow flags whipping in the breeze, bass thumping from floats. Hand in hand they marched, Emily's sign scrawled. Love found me. Chants rose. We're here, we're queer. Sweat mingling, bodies bumping in the crush. On a side street post-march against graffiti walls they kissed fierce, world be damned. The honk of cabs a celebratory fanfare. But as fall hinted, a curveball. Alex's mural grant required a Seattle residency. 3 months, Clay and Coast calling. Come with? She asked over diner pancakes, syrup sticky sweet. Emily's fork paused, opportunity and anchor tugging. My career's here. But us. We'll bridge it, Alex vowed, but doubt seated, distance a looming specter. Autumn leaves carpeted the streets in fiery protest, mirroring the blaze in Emily's chest as Alex's departure loomed. The apartment felt cavernous already. Alex's side of the closet half empty, camera bag zipped like a sealed fate. Emily threw herself into work, deadlines devouring days, nights blurring into bleary-eyed renders, but the void ached, a hollow hum beneath the city's roar. Video calls bridged the gap. Alex's face pixelated on screen from rainy Seattle, voice crackling. Miss your laugh echoing off these walls. Emily's responses warmed her laptop, fingers tracing the keyboard as if it were skin. But latency lagged the intimacy. Touches reduced to air kisses and love you, S typed in haste. Letters became their lifeline, handwritten, Alex's scrawl looping like vines, mailed with Polaroids. Her sketching murals under evergreens. A coffee shop window fogged with her breath drawing hearts. Emily replied in illustrated envelopes, sketches of Brooklyn stoops empty without her. Words pouring. Nights are colder. Hurry home. One package arrived scented with pine. Press ferns and a mixtape. Tracks from their early days, Tracy Chapman crooning Fast Car. As Emily drove aimless loops over the bridge, tears salting her lips. Jealousy flickered sporadically. Mia sightings in Alex's stories, old collab. Casual but stinging. Emily confronted over a glitchy call, voice pitching. Am I waiting in wings again? Alex's denial fierce. You're center stage. Always. Reassurance came via surprise visit. Alex jetting back mid-residency, knocking at dawn with airport rumple and grin. They collided in the hallway, door barely shut before clothes hit floor. Emily's back to the wall, legs wrapping Alex's waist, thrusts urgent. gasped, sinking to the rhythm of reunion. Missed this, missed you. Alex groaned, hips snapping, Emily's nails digging crescents, climax ripping cries that neighbors surely heard. Extended, the visit wove normalcy. Gallery crawls hand in hand, Alex critiquing Emily's latest spread. Raw, real. Like us. But parting wrenched harder, airport goodbye, a tear-streaked limbo. Emily clutching Alex's jacket lapel until security pried. 2 months left. Then forever. Alex whispered, kiss lingering. Solo, Emily bloomed in absence. Solo exhibit of her queer series, walls alive with her evolutions. From shadowed self-portraits to vibrant dyads, Alex's influence in every stroke. Opening night thrummed, champagne fizzing, admirers clustering. Your lines breathe emotion. Pride swelled but a hollow echoed. Alex live streaming from afar. Cheers tinny through speakers. Winter solstice brought crisis. Emily's flu hit hard, fever dreams of loss. Phone silent as Alex's signal dropped in cascade storms. Delirium whispered doubts. She'll stay away, find easier love. Recovery brought clarity, Emily firing off a voice note. Need you. Not the idea, the mess of us. Alex arrived Christmas Eve snow-dusted, arms laden with tamales from her mom's recipe, the spice warming Emily's bones. Holidays unfolded domestic, trees strung with photo ornaments, their faces beaming from frames. Eggnog spiked, carols warbling off-key. Beneath the tree, Alex's gift, a custom camera strap embroidered focus. Us. Drew sobs, Emily's counter. A leather-bound journal, pages pre-illustrated with their future. Loft sketches, travel maps, blank spaces for dreams. Nightcap led to lovemaking by firelight, slow and sacred. Emily atop, rocking languid, Alex's hands cupping breasts, thumbs circling in sync with heartbeats. Shifting, Alex entering with fingers, gaze locked, building to a symphony of sighs, release a shared aurora. New Year dawned with resolutions. Joint therapy, unpacking Emily's internalized straightness, Alex's avoidance patterns. Sessions peeled layers, Emily voicing church-raised shame. Girls don't love girls like that. Alex admitting Mia's ghost as fear of abandonment. Breakthroughs bonded, post-session walks hand in hand, vulnerability a bridge. Spring's return coincided with Alex's homecoming mural complete. A Seattle wall splashed with intertwined figures, echoing their form. Welcome back party at the apartment swelled with allies. Queer collective toasting, shots of tequila burning trails. Amid laughter, Jake's ghost resurfaced. A drunk dial at midnight, slurred happy for you. Mostly. Ending in voicemail delete. Emily laughed it off but tension lingered, party thinning to just them. Bodies swaying to slow jams, kisses deepening on the couch, hands roaming under hems, heat building until bedroom claimed them. Emily's mouth on Alex's core, tongue lapping deliberate, Alex's thighs quaking, flood of release tasting of victory. Career surges followed. Emily's series optioned for a graphic novel. Alex scouted for a docu-series on urban artists. Collaboration beckoned. A joint project, Emily illustrating Alex's photo essays on queer resilience. Late nights fueled by ramen and Red Bull. Ideas sparking like synapses. Capture the quiet moments. Emily suggested pencil flying. Alex snapping candids. Your focus pure magic. But external pressures mounted. Family wedding invite for Emily. Aunt's nuptials in Ohio. +1 welcome but implied straight norm. Emily agonized. Dress fittings a farce, mirror reflecting a woman caught between worlds. Bring me. Alex asked, voice steady but eyes pleading. Emily nodded, resolve stealing. All in. The wedding was a minefield. Cornflower field swaying. Banquet hall twinkling with Edison bulbs. Relative stares like spotlights. Auntie's toast to traditional love landed like lead. Emily's grip on Alex's hand whitening knuckles under the table. Whispers followed. That's the roommate. Oh. But Alex charmed, footy puns disarming uncles. Emily's mom intervened, arm-linking Alex. She's family now. Dance floor moment crested. Slow song swelling. Emily pulling Alex close. Bodies flush amid heteronormative sway. Scared. Alex murmured, breath minty. Terrified. Emily admitted, but spun her anyway, laughter bubbling free. Hotel room after adrenaline high they devoured. Alex bending Emily over the vanity, fingers plunging mirror reflecting ecstasy twisted faces. Emily retaliating on knees, mouth worshipping. Alex's pleas a litany until she shattered, knees buckling. Return energized, but a blow landed. Alex's Doku offer demanded LA relocation. Pilot season lure. 6 months? Trial. She pitched over diner fries, ketchup blots like blood. Emily's fries snapped. After Seattle? I'm fraying. Argument ignited. Alex's ambition selfish, Emily's clinginess smothering. I can't keep proving. Emily yelled, plate clattering. Alex stormed. Then don't let me chase dreams without chains. Door slam echoed. Emily alone with cooling food, sobs racking. Days of radio silence stretched, texts unread. The apartment a tomb of echoes. Emily sought solace in art. Canvases slashed with rage. Blacks and reds bleeding loss. Mutual friend mediated. Coffee meet at neutral ground, neutral cafe, steam rising like peace flags. I'm scared of losing you, Emily confessed, palms sweaty on mug. Alex's eyes softened, calloused hand covering. Not losing. Growing. Together. Compromise forged. LA summers, Emily freelancing remote, bi-coastal love. Reconciliation blazed, back home door barely shut, Alex lifting Emily against it, legs wrapping thrusts grinding fabric, bedroom tumble 69 tangle mouths and fingers in mutual feast, orgasms chaining like fireworks. Partners, they panted, seals in sweat. Summer in LA tested. Palm-shaded hikes, Alex's set visits where Emily sketched grips. Beach bonfires, sand abrading skin as they fucked under stars, waves crashing counterpoint to cries. But distance strained, time zones mangling calls, Emily's solo nights fingering to memories hollow. Fall brought pivot. Doku greenlit but Alex negotiating New York base. Relief flooded airport reunion of frenzy, cab ride home, hands under skirts, driver averted eyes. Apartment arrival marathon of positions, reverse cowgirl, Alex's slaps reddening. Emily screams raw, missionary tender, gazes locked, forever breathed in unison. Thanksgiving gathered families. Alex's boisterous clan via video. Emily's mom hosting. Turkey aromas mingling with acceptance. Toasts clinked. To truths discovered. Holiday afterglow led to proposal. Not ring but pact. Co-signed loft lease, future etched in ink. But twist. Emily's graphic novel deal required European promo tour 3 weeks. Paris to Berlin. Go, Alex urged, conquer. Parting kiss lingered. Emily boarding with sketchpad of their forms. Tour whirlwind. Signings buzzing, interviews probing your muse. Emily beaming photos of Alex. Midway, Paris night, Eiffel glow, Emily Skyped. Marry me? Legally, wildly. Alex's yes tearful, screen kissed. Homecoming exploded. JFK crush. Alex waiting, flowers wilting in grip. Limo ride, splurge. Privacy glass up, Emily straddling, riding to rhythm of tires. Home rose petals trailed, cliché cherished. Lovemaking epic oils slick. Toys buzzing, peaks multiple, collapsing in laughter tears. Winter wrapped the city in crystalline hush. Snow muffling the grind, blanketing their loft, newly theirs, high-ceilinged Bushwick airy with skyline views and exposed beams. Emily's tour triumph fueled renovations. Walls splashed in murals Alex photographed, kitchen island scarred from midnight baking fails. Their life sink deeper, morning runs along the East River, breaths puffing clouds, hands brushing in rhythm. Evening wind downs with herbal tea, feet tangled on the chaise dissecting days. Wedding plans bloomed organic, no white dress, but commitment ceremony in the park, spring equinox, cherry petals confetti. Invites handwritten, queer circle swelling. Friends from exhibits, cafe regulars, even Emily's mom officiating, voice steady. Love defies labels. Vows exchanged under an oak, Alex's, you focus my lens drawing sniffles. Emily's, you colored my world, sealing with ring exchange, simple bands engraved truth. Reception spilled to a rooftop, string lights twinkling, playlist their history. From awkward first mixes to wedding waltzes. Dances blurred faces, cake smashed in giggles, toasts roasting Jake's ghost. To exes who pushed us here. Night peaked in after-party intimacy. Guests thinning, Emily pulling Alex to shadows, fingers slipping under lace, circling clit to muffled moans. Later hotel suite, wedding finery shed slow, bodies oiled and adored. Alex's tongue tracing vows on skin, Emily's reciprocation with strap, thrusts measured to build, shattering in symphonic release. Honeymoon whisked to Iceland. Geysers erupting like passions, hot springs steaming, bodies buoyant in mineral baths, kisses tasting of salt and sulfur. Northern lights danced overhead one night, aurora veils mirroring their forms entwined on geothermal sands, love urgent under cosmic witness, gasps freezing midair. Return grounded in routine but growth spurred. Emily mentoring young designers, own your narrative. Alex teaching photo workshops, capture the unseen. Joint ventures flourished, book tour for Emily's novel, Alex's visuals companion, cities conquered hand in hand. Challenges arose as truths do, fertility whispers, Emily's ache for kids clashing Alex's donor qualms. Adopt? Or bio? Debates heated over wine, but therapy tools diffused. Our family, our terms. Resolution. Fostering classes, first placement a wide-eyed teen queer and questioning, their home expanding. Anniversary first marked intimate, dinner at their original walk-up, sublet nostalgia, recreating that rainy night. Merlot poured, kisses igniting on the old bed, slow undress revealing tattoos added. Matching compass and color wheel on ribs. Love-making nostalgic yet evolved. Positions honed, toys integrated, peaks layered. Afterglow in whispers. 1 year. Infinite more. Years layered like city strata. Careers peaking. Emily's TED Talk on identity viral ripples. Alex's solo show Momo whispers. Family grew. Adopted twins chaotic joy of sippy cups and story hours. Bedtime rituals with dual mommies. Pride floats now featured their float. Kids waving rainbow flags. Conflict crested mid-decade. Alex's wanderlust resurfacing, sabbatical pitch to photograph global queer diasporas. Join? Or hold fort? Emily's fear echoed old distances but growth prevailed. Go. I'll anchor. Separation spanned continents, postcards bridging. Alex's from Mumbai markets. Emily's from homefront chaos. Reunion in Tokyo. Neon jungle. Love rekindled in Ryokan futons. Bodies slick with jet-lag sweat. Explorations fevered. Fingers, mouths mutual devouring till dawn. Aging graced them. Laugh lines etching stories, silver threading hair. But passion endured. Date nights electric, quickies in green rooms, anniversary getaways wild. Emily's novel sequel delved their arc. Truths multiply. Alex's docu won Emmys, credits rolling with family cheers. Climax of trials. Health scare redux. Emily's diagnosis early breast cancer, sterile rooms and chemo chills. Alex's vigil unwavering, hand steadying shakes. We're fighters. Remission rang bells, bald head selfies defiant. Love's forge tempering stronger. Decades end, silver anniversary on that Brooklyn rooftop, city evolved below. Vows renewed, kids grown and tearful. You taught us truth. Toast lifted. To discoveries that endure. Final night, sheets crisp, bodies familiar yet thrilling. Emily atop, grinding eternal. Alex's hands guiding hips, gazes locked in forever's gaze. Climax crested shared, sighs blending to sleep's embrace. In quiet after, Emily traced Alex's ring. One night changed everything. Alex smiled, kiss soft. And discovered the truth, we're home.